a completely different place than when I was there in 2012. Its mission is clearly exactly what they changed it to be. It is a museum for activism. And it has, they use history, but that's kind of the problem. Scholars of history, and I don't consider these folks scholars anymore. They're activists. And my primary reason for my visit was to do some more research and on a couple of different projects. But I had, knowing I was having this opportunity, I added that into my schedule. I read the DSC report prior to going, and then I wanted to see for myself, what have they done there? And from the moment I walked in, it's a very different experience. Now, I wasn't totally shocked by this because I've been watching this evolution in my field for over a decade. It became this goal, their own stated goal, to turn museums from institutions of education, of public education, into institutions to encourage activism, which could also be said to indoctrinate, and not to give people information and let them make their own decisions, but to specifically direct them to action. That's what I found in there. It's as much in what they don't tell you where they're being misleading as to anything false that they say. There was some factually incorrect information in certain exhibits, but that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is in what they leave out. Yeah. And then there's the critiques of, this exhibit was gone by then, but I've seen the thing about the exhibit that had like sex toys and stuff like that. Well, yeah. Really? In a history museum, in that graphic, and museums are, and especially the Smithsonian, these are geared to all ages. Why would you do that? That's all of that's out of sync with what museums were just a few years ago. Really, the hearings is when my experience to go through the museum was one thing. It was after going through there and then listening to her testimony, Hartig's testimony, was just very disappointing. That I did not see that as a scholarly presentation whatsoever. And it's like, own it. If that's the kind of museum you've been approved to run, then just own it. Don't say you're being unbiased when it's really evident. It's one thing to have that opinion, to say, hey, we think this is what a museum should be doing, or our museum should be doing. That's one thing. It's a point to be argued. It's a point to be debated, especially a taxpayer-funded museum. But I was surprised that she didn't own it. I was surprised at all of the denials that and the claims of not taking a side, because anybody that's in this field knows that there was this massive shift. It's been going on for decades. It took a significant leap forward in that 2015 era. And then it took the massive final leap in 2020, where I've got colleagues that at that point had been teaching over 20 years that told me they watched people that had never been political in all the decades they'd known them teaching. They were just doing their teaching and they became radicalized overnight. Everybody in this field knows what's been going on, and you can, like I say, you can argue whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but to not own it, that's what I don't understand. And it is my opinion as a public historian, as a historian, that the mission that we've always had, to educate the public and provide them, scholarly information, is that's, to me, that's what the Museum of American History should be. And when you read the new mission statement, which that was only the second time in the institution's history it had been revised, and it was completely changed. They changed the purpose of that museum. So again, okay, that's an argument to be made, but why don't they own it? It's a frightening time, and like I said, the Smithsonian is simply the highest profile symptom of a process that's been going on for some time. I'll be honest with you, I'm not hopeful without a massive effort. And you would have to just at the Smithsonian alone, you're not going to get these people to change their approach. You're going to have to put in new people that are committed to scholarly standards and committed to non-politicized, educational programming, that reject and these people have bought into it, hook, line, and sinker.